Yo, what's going on, people? Back again. Another Wrestle Purist stream, this time hosted by myself, Phil Lindsay, Lyric, Joe Hublo. And Raw was last night, but this isn't a review show. We're not doing a full-length review recap show here. We're just going to be here talking wrestling, see what you guys want to talk about, the latest going-ons, the news, whatever it is. But like I said, keep active in the chat because you'll kind of guide us with what to talk about, you know. But get your super chats in. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff that helps support the channel. And man, we'll get into it shortly. But first, see how everyone's doing. Hublo, what's going on, brother?
Immediate double dose of Hublo is crazy. It's good,
That's
bro.
what it is, bro.
It's good. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. It is just pouring down with rain. Just absolutely pouring. I was going to ask the same question. It's an interesting visual you've got there.
It's changing screensavers, you know. So.
Right, it's dynamic, very dynamic. I like it. Some new offensive maneuvers already. I like it.
I gotta work with it, man. You know.
Yeah, I dig it. Funka shirt. You're in good form, brother. I'm into it. So, I'm happy to be here, bro. It should be fun.
Yeah, good stuff. Phil, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Coming off of a Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah,
always
man.
a good time when the Pats lose. So, you know.
Yeah, Super Bowl weekend was definitely an interesting one. I managed to catch little bits of it. I do struggle with NFL though, especially the Super Bowl with how it's broken up with all the ads and everything. But these are just typical British complaints of watching American sports, you know. So I won't bore everyone with it. But last but not least, Lyric, how are you? How was your weekend? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually not an NFL fan at all. I've never gotten super into it. Maybe I'm a big college football fan though. I went to a big SEC school with a huge football lifestyle, so that's kind of my thing. You'll catch me there. I literally tuned in. It was like 2 minutes left in the second, and like I watched Bad Bunny, and then I turned the TV straight off. Like what's there to talk about? You know, it gets to a point. I saw those AI commercials, god awful. Like
terrible.
Luckily, I didn't see anything.
Like what was the one, the Duncan commercial that aged everybody? It had like what?
Jurassic Park.
Carlton and what's the guy from Family Matters? Urkel. Who else was in that? Was not saying Adam Sandler, but it was
I didn't see that one. I saw the Jurassic Park one.
It was a Duncan commercial, and they it's supposed to be younger versions of these people, but they're clearly aged down with like AI. It looked god awful. Like it was terrible.
Like the Irishman.
And like I didn't even see most of the commercials that everybody else saw. I only really saw from like 2 minutes left in the second through like the end of the Bad Bunny performance. Terrible. Like, guys, do something else. There's no way, knowing how much money that is invested in like these Super Bowl commercials and how much they're worth, and to where you did not put your best foot forward. Just useless. Yes, it was 90 sitcom stars, and it looked god awful. Terrible. Just terrible. But Bad Bunny was amazing. The Benito Bowl was fantastic. We need more of it. I think it's incredible. And as a Lady Gaga stan, I was, anybody who's criticizing, they're not me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there was a lot of people, Nobody watched the TP USA halftime show, no?
No.
Bro, that clip of like the side by sides of the performances are hilarious, bro. Like
Kid Rock lip syncing.
I think it's just like when you see Bad Bunny, even if you don't understand the words, that the aura,
vibe.
Like the national aura, and it's just like truly like I've never seen ugly people hate Bad Bunny. I just never seen it. Baddies everywhere. You'll never see a higher concentration.
Accusations, Lyric in the chat.
A beautiful. Never.
Come on, Josh. Come on,
bro. Nah.
Higher concentration of beautiful women than when Bad Bunny is playing. You will never. It just would never happen. It never happened. You mean to tell me you want to watch Kid Rock
in 2026?
In 2026? Like, come like y'all could have done something better than that. Like anybody else. Like,
Yeah.
what I actually, I don't know, pregame or whatever. Before, like, I watched the Backlash match before.
Get fired up for it.
I showed it to my friends who had never seen it, and friends who aren't wrestling fans, and like talk about the girls are about to faint. He got aura. I don't know what to tell you. He wrestles how
he's the most streamed artist on the planet, bro. People will question it. You know, I don't know how it became a divisive topic, even with the language barrier, which with the city it was in, wasn't as prevalent anyway. But anyway, I guess kind of throwing it around to wrestling. Seth Rollins seemed to like it. He was on Good Morning Football talking about how he loved the performance and it was all about unity and love, which it was. Though that was obviously clearly the message. So, Cody Rhodes liked it. People tweeting their approval of it was almost like them giving a political stance, just to make sure. Yeah. I liked it, guys. Don't worry,
I don't even know if I can say this. Well, it doesn't matter. I think like there's now. I think like certain wrestlers feel like they have to like put out a feeler every now and then, so people are just like, "Hey, listen, man, I'm down with woke." Woke is cool. Like, that's totally cool. Especially now that things have gotten more political, especially on that side. It's just like, we actually don't support woke at all until it comes to Bad Bunny. We do like him. We do need him. We do want him to come back. So everybody be cool.
It kind of feels like when The Wire was out, all of your white friends like, hey, I like The Wire. It's like
I would have totally voted for Obama a third term.
Listen, man, I would have voted for him again.
They're saying Nick Khan sent the memo. He sent the black vans round to the Paul family.
Nah,
Jake Paul did that like the worst tweet you've ever seen. And then he tried to go back on it. Then Logan tried to do damage control as well. Like, I don't agree with him.
The call went out, buddy. You could see the timing go when the call went out because Jake was on Twitter going crazy. Then you saw all these people like, I don't even agree with homeboy. I don't even know what he's talking about. Like,
I think it's so interesting though. It's just like it just shows you how political everything has gotten, like from sports and wrestling. Of just there's so many different people to keep happy. Like in this area, let's be ultra conservative. Let's be like, let's go full White House MAGA, right? And then, but in this area, it is Bad Bunny. He's done
too much money.
He's done great business for us before, and he wasn't even nearly as big then as he is right now. To get him back on TV right now would be huge. But also, too, you have all these other parties to keep happy. So I'm actually really interested to see like how WWE navigates this. What's going to come first, like the profit line, which it should. I mean, if you care about making money, but who knows?
I'm saying apparently JBL like man. JBL's been a good dude on Twitter these days.
He's a very considered poster. I'll leave it at that. Very, very considered.
He knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
He's in his Buff Bagwell stage. Remember when Buff had his Twitter account?
Buff Bagwell era,
Definitely an element of that. 100% there is. Yes, I would agree.
Oh man, but yeah, congratulations to the Seahawks. Yeah, man, and Bad Bunny, of course. But where do we start? We'll start with the thumbnail. So apparently, according to Dave, mine and Joe's favourite person to get topics off on a Friday afternoon. If you remember, you'd definitely know. So according to Uncle Dave, there is some mounting internal criticism of Triple H, and this is coming from Mania. Then this is coming from Lyric. Mania plans changing and stuff, and of course there's been the injuries and everything, but this is following from I think his story the week before about like how Drew McIntyre ended up in one of the main event slots instead of Bron Breakker. So like, who's running to Dave saying there's internal criticism? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's just narrative building? Is it Heyman? Who is it, Joe?
Well, you could have a range of guesses on that. I think Heyman is. I don't think it's Heyman because this strikes me as being. Well, it strikes me as being similar to that. Remember when? Remember that kind of onslaught of insider Dave scoops where it was about like the creative process, and it sounded like it was a young liberal in the room who'd had enough. That ain't Paul Lee. He doesn't fit either part of that description. So, yeah, I got the sense it's that guy again. Obviously, I'm just messing around. It's probably multiple people that Dave has talked to about this, to be clear. But before Dave quote tweets me in person, but it is an interesting topic. You know, it's like ultimately his job is he's kind of like the head coach, right? And I think we're all aware of how quickly head coaches their job security can change. I don't know if I fully buy that it's as vulnerable as that, in the sense that I don't know how much truly booking Triple H does to begin with at this point. Like, that job feels... sometimes you watch the TV and it feels like it has a very different creative mindset to the big shows. The big shows feel so meddled with by, like, corporate voices and different hands and you know, political pieces in the main event. But, you know, Vegas, to me, returning to Vegas was always bold. And I saw some people say this on social, and I agree with it. Like, even if they were really rolling creatively, I think Vegas would be like it would be a slow burn, that return. It's tough, dude. Like, you were just there, you know? So it's that's obviously a huge factor. Do I think there are people in the room that think he's run his course as a booker? Of course. But I think there's always people in the room that feel that way. That's just how wrestling people are. Right?
Yeah,
and how people are,
100%.
for that matter. So I don't think it's like an emergency stations thing, but I think it's totally believable. No question I think it's believable.
Starting to build. It's funny because it's just like when we was like coming out of 2025, started this year. It's like Triple H needs to lock in. You know, it's like he can't have another year like 2025 from like a creative point of view. Obviously, business wise, they did pretty good business 2025, but then got the John Cena return tour. No, John Cena retirement tour this year, as Joe's mentioned as well. They set themselves this mammoth task of returning to Vegas for some reason that I still don't even get to this day, to be honest. But they're doing it.
Money. That's the reason.
But they didn't get bids from anywhere else.
I'm assuming it was a big
You know what
one,
I'm saying?
But
I'm
they,
sure
they
they-
changed hastily, right, Phil? They changed really quick, right?
I think that they saw how much money they made last year in Vegas in terms of not just like the gates, but all of the like stuff they were doing around WrestleMania, the roasts, like those after parties and like all this stuff, and they're like, oh no, we got to go back.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happened.
I think also too of just how to say, I don't think TKO values the things that traditional wrestling fans value. You know,
Yes.
I think that, and I think that's what this all comes down to, even with like the Triple H leadership thing of, is he a terrible booker? Yeah, probably. Yeah. You know, is he creatively bankrupt? Absolutely. Did he fumble what should have been the easiest layup in wrestling history with the Cena retirement tour? Absolutely. Because what? TKO doesn't give a damn about wrestling.
They sold their tickets. They don't care.
As long as they got butts in seats, like literally, you can watch Doink the Clown win the world championship tomorrow, and they don't care, you know. And so, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Even with like moving Mania to Vegas, like New Orleans would have been a ton better, in my opinion. But I'm a wrestling fan. TKO does not care, you know. If that's their headquarters, Vegas is their home base, you know, where they've been running operations out of it. It makes stylistic sense for them. They know that like people are going now. Are they going to be able to pack out the house? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think eventually, and I'm not sure if it's going to be this year, but eventually it's going to catch up to them because guess what? The economy is still what it is. You know, and like everyday people are still experiencing what they are experiencing. And I think that wrestling has traditionally been one of the only accessible things for just about anyone. You know, there used to be a time that even if you are like lower middle class, if you save properly, you can be able to buy a trip for you and your kids, you know, to go to WrestleMania every year, and that could be your thing. That is no longer the case. You know, and I think at the end of the day, I don't think that TKO has a really good understanding of who the average wrestling fan is. And here's the thing, we got to think WWE is also for more casual wrestling fans. How much are casual wrestling fans really willing to pay year in, year out. And also they've charged for everything. Meet and greets, WWE World is so expensive. And like all these things, you paying like $400 to eat with Jay Uso, sure. We're getting to a point now when you look around the things that's happening in the world, like, bro, like, I just don't financially. I'm interested to see if they actually do sell it out. I mean, the thing is, and even if they don't, they can lie. That's what they do anyway. They're not going to tell us.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do that. But yeah, just like that report from Fightful this week about them trying to crack down on distributors within 50 miles of the venue. It's like you're WWE. You're the biggest wrestling company in the world. You don't need to do that to make money. It's just like that strikes me as totally TKO trying to squeeze as much money. And it's the same thing when we hear about like comps and like all these other things. It's like, you guys are making a ton of money, man. You don't need to do that, especially if you're going back to Vegas where you're going to have to contend with a lot of events around the show because it's Vegas. It's an entertainment city. And so try to crack down and go, oh, no, you can't show our show over there, even if you pay licensing fees. That's crazy.
It's just getting to the point to where I get it. WWE is king in the sense of you're the largest and most accessible wrestling promotion in the world. But eventually punching down is going to catch up with you, of like, even like next year of just like removing WrestleMania out of the equation completely, to go to Saudi, there's a whole independent economy that literally runs off Mania Week, like just needs this to be able to, sustain themselves, for people to be able to get exposure. Promotions make so much money during that time. Like they'll make more money during Mania Week than they do any other time.
Right.
And it's just, and then you go into like, now people can't watch the show in bars and shit. And like, it's just like, it's just, who are you trying to attract? And I have not seen yet where this appeal to like trying to bring in, I guess, maybe the UFC audience, I haven't seen it pay off yet. Like, yes, you're doing well numbers, except, but at the end of the day, you do need wrestling fans. Like, you need actual wrestling fans who actually care about professional wrestling, because those are the only people delusional enough to do this again. You might get them one WrestleMania, sure, in Vegas, maybe, but the only people who are going to be delusional enough to go back and do this again and come back, especially the year after you've run one in Saudi, are delusional wrestling fans. And so, I don't know. It's going to catch up.
Did all the meet and greets, everything. But yeah, wrestling fans are... Yeah, but the ticket sales are down. And they've been... It seems like in the past, 3 weeks or so, they've been kind of moving things around. Drew McIntyre's now world champion. Roman and Punk's announced for the main event of night 2, you would assume. And all these things. But it's like... What could they even do? Going back to the criticism of Triple H, which is reportedly there internally. I don't know. What matches could they even do? Me and Joe especially have been, and I'm sure there's probably a chance that you two as well, Phil and Lyric, are probably on this side of it as well. But Rhea and Io being given a proper chance to put a real superstar main event, WrestleMania level story together. I think they're capable of doing that. I think that could potentially blow up into something. Right. I don't think the big idea, it's not the big idea, because the big idea I assume is just Punk and Roman, but part of the big idea being Drew McIntyre going in as world champion at the moment, I think is it's a bit of a tough sell. For that first night, that night one main event, if you're trying to sell tickets for that and you're trying to sell us Cody versus Drew, or even if you add Jacob to it, the triple threat with Drew as champ, it's just Cody, Jacob, maybe, but yeah, I'm thinking of what things could they do?
Dude. I really don't.
I honestly,
I just don't.
I think that what needs to happen, which it probably really won't, but I think that eventually. I think the WWE fans love nostalgia. Like that's not a secret, right? But I do think that the Cena retirement tour triggered something in the back of people's minds of just it's over, bro. In the sense of you need to give people something to actually look forward to. you have to give them a future to aspire to. I'm gonna be honest, like of just like even hearing like all these names that are coming, except for Rhea and Io, of course, but like it's depressing. Is this it? Like this is all you don't have some big bright young star that you want to put over and finally give like this big push at WrestleMania? Like you don't want to finally make a star. You know, like I'm so sick of these old niggas. Good lord, like times have done
I
this.
don't think that's the
Wrong.
tickets thing though. I don't
Yeah.
think if
No,
Braun
it's
and
not.
Jacob were working for the belts, the tickets will be up. You know.
You know,
I definitely get the point.
yes, it's just kind of like a what are people investing in, you know, of just seeing like the same stuff, because guess what, somewhere around March you're gonna find that they're gonna be like, yeah, man, maybe we'll get Brock invested in this. Brock, like, you know, because that's how these things typically work, right?
Yeah.
It's already bad, you get to about March, shit gets worse, they're like, yeah, let's throw Brock in there, I think that'll be good.
Yeah. I think in terms of like the ticket sales and just like the internal criticism thing, it kind of seems like the issue here is there was no real long-term plans for WrestleMania, and Davis talked about that quite a bit of how the plans have changed a lot, and that wasn't the case like a year ago or like when they were hot during the Bloodline stuff. You knew what the match was coming out of WrestleMania 39. You knew what the match was going to be at WrestleMania 40, and coming into this one, I don't think anybody knew, and that wasn't a great sign. I think it jumped around a lot, and I can see why that would be frustrating from a talent point of view of like, okay, what am I doing? And I mean, just think about it this way. We're talking about where Io was last year. Io was undeniably MVP of this company last year. You're 2 months out. We don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's madness.
Yeah, I
There's so many
definitely
question
think.
marks, I think, around a lot of big stars right now.
Yes.
Like even like we talked about this last week about like Bianca, you know, and I'm sure like they don't want to like disclose too much about like around injury or anything like that. But it's just kind of like you got all of these people supposedly at the height of the promotion, right? Like they're supposedly like that, you know, the hottest it's ever been, sure. And you have all these people. Nobody knows what any of these people are actually going to do. The only match that you've announced is between two 40-plus year olds. One and a half of them barely want to be here. And it's we just got to a point to where, and you got Jey Uso running around here talking about put some respect on him, and so you know he's gonna find somewhere in the middle of this. You know, there's always Brock. You got to keep him in, because at the end of the day, when they released that WrestleMania teaser, like, you know, the one of them sitting at the table with Triple H and Paul Heyman, I knew what was up. They don't know yet, but it's gonna be some combination of these people. Those are going to be your main events. That, like, you know, so those are going to be your main events. I don't really think that they care about what's narrative. It's just like, okay, and honestly, I think ever since The Rock lost that Oscar, they're like, okay, maybe we can get Dwayne. Maybe he's done doing these indie films now. So, you know, and I think, but the fact that we can tell all of this without even being in that room is just proof there is no plan. It really is whoever is available by March. Come on. You can get a main event. We got two of them. Pull up.
Yeah, it's in terms of like investing in like certain wrestlers to get from point A to point B, and you say about like we brought up like as soon as Cody lost at 39, like we knew what the main event for 40 was going to be. So like, we knew it before they even knew it, because they tried doing all the Rock stuff, and it was like, you know, and the fans pushed back on it, and eventually they kind of got what we wanted and what everyone was expecting anyway. Whereas like now it's like, I don't know, like we said, like there's so many so many questions still around so many of the top stars, and I don't think this would have sold an extra 20,000 tickets. But like we talk about kind of you know, new people getting from point A to point B, like the Bron Breakker thing, you know, and obviously unfortunately it's just came out that he's injured, but this is like, he wasn't injured at the time of him not winning the Rumble, you know, and Roman won the Rumble, and Roman versus Punk so far so very good, you know what I mean, like their live segment was incredible, but somebody like a Bron Breakker is almost like I guess an example of this. Do you know what I mean? Because like with Cody, like I said, the fans invested in him, knowing eventually he would get to the Roman challenge. Then a lot of people obviously expected him to win at 39. He didn't,
Right.
and it was like the fans were still with him. He was still the one, you know, and we went through that journey of like the Brock feud and the blah 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 and everything else, and then get back on track. And we had the final boss come in, and there was all that, you know, all that storyline that I just was just on about. But now it's you know, so the two matches are, but we know so far for Mania, the two title matches, and I'm pretty confident it will be Brock and Oba. But
Oh no.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
It's just, you know, the reality is that all of this stuff, when it comes to stuff like ticket sales or just general interest, is reflective of 1,000,001 things at once, right? And there is absolutely the truth of the ticket prices. Inevitably, people are just going to say enough, right? You're back in Vegas, all that good stuff. But there's also, it's the straw that breaks the camel back in the sense that there has also been a collection of major shows in the last year or two where the sentiment coming out of the show has been, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And this is where I have a lot of issues with. There's this kind of mentality sometimes of, what does the hardcore fan think and what does the fan think that's in the stands? Because they love everything. Those miserable fans online here. And sometimes what happens is it becomes this one extreme or another. Go back and watch the end of Survivor Series, War Games. They do a Roman Cody stare down inside the cage, and then the payoff is that Roman walks off. Yeah. And the audience in attendance, a stadium crowd, responds to that with you can hear a jeer of, oh, that was it? That was what we got here tonight? That was the end of it? They aren't fans in this live chat or on Twitter moaning. They're fans that paid. They're in the crowd. And I think inevitably that's what you're looking at. You know, I don't think, look, let's be honest, we all know where this is going. The heat's all going to go on Drew McIntyre because they're going to take the belt off Drew probably next month. And they will sell the thing out eventually. They'll just have to get up there slower than usual, you know? And they'll go, oh, it was just Drew. Never mind. We'll go on to the next show. The reality is it's far more likely the attendance being down is indicative of people not loving their 2025 than not being into the upcoming Mania direction. Now, to everyone's point here, we have to reiterate again, the Mania direction is not an exactly stacked conversation because there isn't a ton of directions on the show. It feels like they're still figuring out what Mania is, which I think is a result of kind of the chaos that Dwayne caused 2 years ago. I think has led to a real complacency in that regard. Mania 39, while they didn't stick the landing with Cody and Roman, that was built to magnificently. You knew the card for Mania 39 4 months in advance. You could tell me the card, basically. You knew where it was going. Yeah. And I think the chaos that came with Dwayne for WrestleMania 40 has resulted in a mentality of, we'll just roll with the punches and we'll figure it out, as Lyric kind of alluded to. And I think that is a dangerous habit to get into because if you don't have someone like The Rock to drop into that and, you know, make magic, it kind of results in a lot of matches that feel weak. You know, I think we saw that last year in Vegas to some extent with the build. So, it's an interesting one. I think we've got a lot of twists and turns on the road to Mania, for better or worse.
I think,
I think also, too, just like, at least from the outside looking in, like, again, I don't know these people, but it does seem kind of like, even more so than usual, all of the top players, at least on the men's side, it very much seems like I'm here for myself. Like, just, you know, sure. It feels cannibalistic almost to a fault right now. And it just kind of feels like, don't get me wrong, everybody's not going to like each other and be better.
Yeah, the pro wrestlers is always going to be a little animalistic, but like you said, Lyric to a fault at the moment. You know?
Exactly. It kind of feels like, okay, like even like some of the things that come out, like between like the bloodline of just like, yeah, y'all owe my family everything, and it's just like, yeah, put some respect on us. It's just like, whoa, brother, did y'all not just main event like the last 40 pay-per-views? Like,
right. And the issue is,
what are we talking about?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that what's going to happen is, if a number goes down, they go, what is this guy Roman? But the issue is, and we saw this many, many years ago at WCW, but that's inevitably, if you train the audience that that's what you do when you're in a pinch, you constantly go, not Roman. Roman's honestly an unfair example. You get my point. Like, Brock came up, or the familiar faces, right? It could be anyone. It could be Cody, Seth, whoever. if you go back to those familiar faces when you feel like there's interest is lagging, the issue with that is you're never going to do the work of getting the next people up to that main event stage.
Yeah.
And so in an ideal world, this is where you can kind of, by committee, share the main event slots, which is why I think a lot of fans are looking at Rhea versus Io. Let's be real. I don't think Rhea versus Io would result in this show currently having 51,000 sold, right? But it would allow you to be a lot more favorable to, like, Drew Mack as the world champ. Because currently, I think we're all pretty much convinced that Cody's main event in night one. For better or worse, right or wrong. And so, so as a result, that we're all looking at this going, is this really what they're going to do as the match? Right? Like, is this really what it's going to look like? I don't think it is, personally. I don't think Drew's making it as champ. I really don't. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah.
After,
I don't mind.
you see how he did his reply promo
Yeah, bro,
on
it's
Friday. That was oof.
Yeah.
I didn't hit how he wanted it to hit. You know, them
No.
ones. You know how he had that planned out in his head.
It
He's
wasn't
like,
that.
yeah, I'm gonna clap back. You get me? And no, he just didn't land, bro. You know.
I think Roman's last reign was just so. He was built so dominant to a fault, to where it feels like they're finally going back and like being like, oh yeah, thank you for waiting your turn and giving everybody these reigns now. But guess what? The moment's gone. I don't think Drew McIntyre will probably ever be as hot as he was at that point. What was it? Clash at the Castle? Like, yeah, I don't think you'll ever get that back. You know, WrestleMania 39, like that, that was his time. And that was several wrestlers' time, right? Of just like people who were doing really great work during that time. And like they could have at that time. It's over, bro. It is. And I think, you know, we could be honest about it. But I think also the thing that we're seeing now is that I don't think WWE has an ace. You know, I think Roman is an attraction. I think he is their chief attraction. But I think ever since Cena retired, I think it's a huge reminder. Like, I don't think they have an ace. You know,
Cody, man,
did a lot of damage to Cody last year, I think.
And I don't think
he
Cody,
did hurt him, but he is Cody. He's a wounded ace. That's what Cody.
Yes,
a wounded ace. Yes, but I don't think like you have that infallible. Like I still don't think it's because he's still an attraction too in his own right. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Cody. You know, you don't have that guy who you've built around for years, you know, from start to finish. Like, it just doesn't exist. In WWE right now. And I think like it really shows through. Like there's no central anything of like everybody's kind of like doing their own thing. Even if you see like the reports come out, like Seth said it, Bailey said it, yeah, nobody still watches the monitors. Everybody just kind of like get their shit and they go home. Nobody cares.
But I mean,
like nobody cares.
But I mean, what is your motivation to do that? If you come in every year and you work the entire year and you're getting hot, like if you're LA Knight, for example, you work year round. The crowd is telling you at every turn, we like this guy. We want to see him get a big win. But every turn, this company is telling you Roman is main eventing no matter what. No matter what happens, Roman is main eventing. Look at Jay last year. Jay got this moment, got the Royal Rumble win out of nowhere. Hey, great job, buddy. Roman's still main eventing, though. So if you're a wrestler for this company, at any point you get hot, you know it doesn't matter. The main event scene for WrestleMania is impenetrable unless you're 3 or 4 different guys. And so
Roman and Cody.
Yeah, and so I think that's kind of the annoyance here from some people backstage. And then I feel like the last 2 years of Roman not being on top, you've had people like, all right, finally it's my time. And now you've gotten 2 years later, and now you've got like the political fight you acknowledged that's like, okay, man, look, I gave y'all 2 years, man. I put Cody over, you know. I came back and I lost to people you wanted me to lose to. There's nothing going for these guys. You wanted me to lose to Bronson Reed. Where is he? What's he doing now? We did this vision thing for a whole year where I kept losing to these guys, getting beat down by these guys. Where are they at now?
Yeah.
Hey, enough. Give me my belt back. Give me my spot back. Like, we've done it. And I think from like Drew's point of view, you got to look like, all right, well, yeah, we did this Roman thing for 4 years. Told me to wait my turn. Waited. Got this Punk feud. That was big for me. All right. Punk's moved on and he's champion now. Where does that leave me?
And what you describe with the talent point part of it goes hand in hand with the fans too. And it's why it's, none of these things live in a vacuum. And so if you gradually train the audience that the guys they like are going to be slotted regardless, it creates this kind of fatigue among the fan base, right? And we've seen this across every promotion at times. And it's why it's so pivotal that you kind of keep your track record clean, because that's how you keep the audience's trust, both the audience's trust and the talent's trust, for that matter. Mm-hmm. I think there was a sense a couple years ago that there was meritocracy and that you could explode and ascend through the card. And I think over time that declines, and I think that's why you see a lot of fans. For example, I'll give you an example that's been the last 24 hours. I don't think in a vacuum Lyra Valkyria getting pinned by Rhea Ripley is a big deal at all, right? But Lyra Valkyria fans are upset because it's like, damn, this is just what it's going to be now, maybe, huh? Like, this been 6 months,
she's
and
not
so
in chambers.
it's where these things, it's easy to kind of get caught on one example of it, but Phil's on the money in the sense that these things add up over time, and it creates a kind of fatigue and a frustration among fans that I think all of this, they're factors in what we're discussing broadly, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird time. Last thing I'll ask on this is that Lyric was mentioning about Cody. He's kind of like, he took a lot of damage in 2025. Like, obviously kind of rolling with the punches of the Cena retirement and, you know what I mean, doing what you could with that, then also kind of losing some steam in the middle of that after dropping the belt, and just for a variety of reasons. Do we think over the course of 2026 he can get that back?
I think he can. I just think it's funny that Cody came back at the perfect time when they really had nobody else built up to beat Roman.
Yeah,
and for the next 2 years, this company and entities inside this company keep trying to ask us, hey, you really like this guy? What is it? This guy? That's the guy you really like. Like, it's like he lost at WrestleMania 39 and they're like, oh, okay, you guys really want him to get this win back. You really want him to finish this story. Okay, cool. Rock came back and was like, hey, I'm getting my match, right? Oh, you guys want Cody? That guy? You sure? Maybe we can turn him heel. Like,
I don't want to believe it, bro. It's
I genuinely think like it just goes back to where, yes, like he ended up winning, and he ended up winning. He ended up winning the belt. He ended up like being pushed as this top guy. But I think like, in WWE's eyes, like I think Cody is still a bit tainted, and because he left and he did all these things, and yes, even though he's done all these things to like try to like make up for that. I think that's why they constantly test him in front of the fans. And the thing is, that's not going to go away.
No,
that's not going to go away.
He's in a Punk spot that he was in 2011, where no matter how hot Punk got, they kept trying to say, "Really, this is the guy y'all want?" And the fans are like, "Yes, stop fighting us on this. That's who we want."
And I just think at this point of babyface Cody only has but so many tricks up his sleeve. And I think like I'm not gonna say they have run their life cycle with a lot of it, and I think because he's always going to be the victim in a lot of these situations, and so I just don't see him being able to really bounce back to get where he was at WrestleMania 39 levels. Like I think like he'll always be a big deal. He's always going to be a force of nature. And I think because at the end of the day, and you said this, Phil, last week in the sense of everybody's talking about like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of Cody, but who's going to replace him? Unfortunately, they just don't have a guy that they built on his level. There's just nobody that they built that is on his level. But they're going to continue to like, try to like cut his legs off in turn for like people like Roman and like. But I think at the end of the day, you have to contest with the fact just like Roman is an attraction, yes, but he's so like what do I want to say, like top guy out at this point of he's not gonna change. He's working like 5 days.
He is who he is at this point.
And I get attractions are important, but you can't build a 52-week year product around somebody who shows up 5. Like you just can't.
That's what the problem was with the Vision. I kept saying it. you cannot build a main faction on Raw, and the main person they are trying to embarrass and make their like their main foil is a guy that's not there every week.
Correct.
You can't do it. It doesn't work.
Everybody just yelling into the void, it's just, I just think, again, this goes back to the failure to create stars. And it's going to keep happening, honestly, until you convince somebody worth a damn in AEW to jump ship. And we're going to repeat this entire cycle 5 years from now.
Yeah.
That's just, you're
I
going to
could
wait for
see.
some of these people to get older. Or, or want to like take less stress on their body. Because I will say, like, WWE's not doing like a 300-day a year schedule anymore. But
Cody wants to.
And I think that's exactly, and unfortunately, I think that doesn't work in his favor. I think it's one of those things now. It's crazy to say this, but I think Cody works too hard for WWE, and that's exactly why they treat him the way that he does. Like, you try too hard. It's
so funny because this all sounds like Punk 2011. Everything he told us, like, yeah, I did the schedule and everything they told me, and it doesn't matter when they pick their guy. It doesn't matter.
Cody's worse than Punk though at that time, and I'd say this because of Punk still had his edge, like in the sense of like he was very much so even though was he working all the dates, was he doing all the things, but he was very still kind of as anti-establishment within the establishment.
Yeah, it was kind of like wing.
And I think Cody, on the other hand, is like, I love the establishment. I actually breathe the establishment. I have it tattooed on me. You see me? I literally, and I think that eagerness has been taken advantage of. And he came into WWE so eager. And he flat out said it, right? I told Vince, like, I want to do it. And he said, welcome home. And all this. Like, I drank the Kool-Aid. And I told him I'm going to work so hard and I'm willing to do anything. And I'm coming from the bottom. Of just like, unfortunately, yes, they might put a belt on you in this, but they are never going to see you, the way that the fans might see you, and either he's going to have to get comfortable with that or do an extreme pivot. And I know
think they do. I don't think it's an agenda against Cody. I think they're just stupid in some cases. I think they think Cody's the guy.
No, I think it's both. I think we should make plenty of room for stupid.
I think it's a bit. It's all these things. It's all these things as well. It's like Black Goku says in the chat. Cody's also not a smart wrestler, as we know. Cody loves to take big swings. We've seen him do it in AEW. We've seen him do it in WWE. We've seen him do it in WWE before he was on the Indies. You know what I mean? Like, he loves to take a swing, and he's all in on them. So sometimes that's great. Sometimes it's not. But how are you giving up your world title to Drew McIntyre going into WrestleMania?
But see, that wasn't
so because the reporting going around it is that Drew had this big grand idea, which me and Joe have laughed about a few times. Like, what if I win the belt? And it's like, yeah, of course you'd suggest that. But Cody was really on board with it, and it was Cody and Drew reportedly convincing Triple H to come around to the idea, to which he eventually did, and now we've got Drew McIntyre as world champion, potentially going into WrestleMania instead of Cody Rhodes.
But see, I think that's one of those things where you kind of put Cody in a tough spot, where you had 3 matches with Drew last year that really amounted to nothing for Drew, and so from his point of view and Drew's point of view, they're looking like, well, I can't lose again. If I lose again, I'm dead in the water. And it's like you booked him in a corner. You couldn't have him lose that last match because he had lost too much up to that point. And
I
don't
think the title loss was the issue. I really do.
Yes, I mean, like, I like Drew. I do. Yeah. But we say, he would have been dead in the water. He
would have been.
Yeah, but like, as opposed to what? Like,
I agree, but I don't think that changes Cody's fault. I actually think Cody has been rejuvenated by having a chase again, personally, as a talent. Cody's issue was that in 2025, they middled him by having him work with John Cena. So they asked the audience to pick between him and John Cena, which was fucking stupid the whole time. And then he had to work with Drew for the last 4 months. I agree with Phil. If anything, at least the belt change give Cody something to chase and be mad about. Like, him just working status quo with Drew. And this is the bit that's challenging. The issue for Cody and where I'm sympathetic towards him is the obvious hot match for him is Jacob. And the issue is Jacob is going to middle him again because the audience will pick between him. Some will pick him, but some of the audience are going to pick Jacob. And so
I really would have
build
loved
heels
it.
for him, you know?
I really would have loved if they did just kind of tap more into that, like, you know, that energy that they had with the sit-down interview and Jacob interrupts him and had that segment, and like that was incredible, do you know? And it's like if they would have just like leaned into kind of that idea of how Cody was presenting himself, of kind of like looking down on him, and it's like almost heelish but not quite, because you know he's the upstanding moral WWE World Champion, do you know what I mean? And it was that kind of thing, and Jacob obviously a bit rough around the edges, whatever you want to call it. And it's like I would have had Jacob beat Cody at Mania with like kind of like that, or what with doing the story the way they kind of presented that segment of like
they might do that, to be fair. They might.
But it's like Drew, because you've dropped the belt to Drew now. Do you know what I mean? It's like I know that segment kind of started from obviously the tension building with obviously Jacob costing Cody the title, but it's like that didn't have to be the way to start their tensions. Do you know what I mean? So. The whole Drew thing just makes it kind of so. I don't know. I think it just makes it a little less, I guess, enjoyable to plan around or whatever if you're the guys putting it together. You know.
It does, but I mean, it just feels like you had to do something with Drew, man. He did the entire Punk feud. He came out of that as a loser, and I think that feud was great for him, but. You had nowhere for him to go after that. And then you put him in this series of matches where nobody believed he was going to win. He was ice cold. And if you would have just got to the end of the year and he just lost again, what were you going to do with him? You weren't going to put him in a Rumble and people were going to believe he was going to win.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like Lyric said earlier, he's never going to get as hot as he was at that night in Clash of the Castle. It's like sometimes I just think, we got to protect this person. And I know that's not what we're doing right now. We got to protect this person and this person. If they didn't win and, you know, no one would buy him as a world title challenger again. It's like, Drew, you know, you've had your few world title reigns. You've had your moments. Yes, some of them were not in front of fans, and it was nice to see you. You know, I guess like when recently with the belt and you came to the UK and you was like, you're the champ now, and like you got to have your moment. It's like, I'm happy for you, mate, but. You know, it's like bigger fish to fry, in my opinion.
If Cody just gets the belt back on a SmackDown in late February, it's like, to me, there's no harm done by that. That doesn't bother me at all. Like, if Drew is going to carry the belt into Mania, it's going to be Cody Drew, problem. And that's a bad idea. I don't mind the Drew title switch, even though I think Drew is struggling mightily to hold it. I don't think it's an issue in a vacuum. I just think the bigger issue is... What is long term? How long do you keep Cody on the track without, like, a lot of the audience now, their lead interest in Cody is will he become a heel? Yeah. And that's a dangerous thing because then you start.
No.
They also, and this again, where they fucked up a lot last year, they kept doing those finishes where Cody had, like, he would, like, half cheat to win matches.
Yeah, the Drew belt finish. And,
they did it with Kevin, too. Did that same finish with Kevin. That stuff was stupid, you know?
This was, like, one of those when he reached that point in his late AEW run, like it was time to go. Of just kind of when the audience feels like their interest in you might be dependent on you turning. Right. That's the issue, especially if you know you're never going to turn, right? Like if you know you're never going to actually, you know, give them like a heel run. I think like that's the issue, and again they backed themselves into a corner, and I think like WWE has like tiers of like top guys, right? Like you have like your 1A and you have your 1B. Now the thing is they try not to let 1B know that they're not 1A. And I think that's why Drew has a belt right now. Of just
exactly.
Like, he's not one of their 1A guys, but the thing is you essentially screwed him over for the last 3 years, constantly have him lose feuds, and guess what? You don't have Clash at the Castle to give him of just like, you know, like that 2023 was a really romantic year. I feel like as far as wrestling, because like WWE was like, no, I can't give you a world title, but we're going to just have you lose in a venue in front of all of your friends. You know, like we're in front of all your friends and family. You're going to get a really great pop. You can sing at the end if you like. And it's gonna be really awesome. And you can't have one of those belts. Unfortunately, Roman and the guy who just got here last year, yeah, that's it. As far
Yeah.
as like
Yeah.
we want you to resign because you can't go to AEW. But so we have really big plans for you. We're going to give you this belt at a really terrible time. You're not going to hold it for very long eventually, but we got you 2 years from now. And that's where and it goes to, I think, American wrestling, period. Everybody wants to be historic. Everybody wants to have these long reigns and break all these records, right? And I'm not saying that because WWE's not the only people who've done this. I've complained about this in AEW for a while. The MJF title reign. You can even say somewhat, I think, Mercedes and Tony's title reigns concurrently, right? You have these historic, amazing title reigns on these generational talents. But without paying enough care to the people outside of them during that time, not after, during that time, to make sure that they are doing work that matters, to do things that keep them, I think, elevated in stature. Guess what? By the time they do drop those belts, you're going to wonder, like, where did all my main eventers go? Why is everybody like, why does nobody feel like a star? Why does nobody feel like they can carry anything? And the lazy answer will be, let's just put the belt back on this person rather than actually do the work to elevate your stars in real time. And I think like WWE is now paying the price for that Roman reign. Like they are paying the price for Roman holding that belt as long as he did, for not showing up half that time. You have all these disgruntled top guys. It's about 3 different people who feel like, I showed up to work every day. I was there all the time. And I put in all this work. And so now you have to go on these apology tours. You're about to do the same thing to them all over again. You're about to do the exact same thing to them again.
I saw it, and I cheered as somebody that is a big fan of the guy because I saw what they did to my guy. They put Rollins in the 1B category for that entire time, and then once they were done, don't worry, we got you. Here's your main event finally. Here you can finally get this win with Roman here, where he's not champion, and it doesn't matter anymore. And I was like, hey, I love this for my guy, but it's 2 years too late.
You got to think WWE handed out so many consolation prizes.
Yes.
A lot of them.
That time to the point where the main event of night 1 was a tag team match. They don't give a shit about tag team wrestling. No. They said
it was a good main event, though.
No, it was fantastic. I think it's one of the best tag matches they've ever done, and honestly, one of my personal favorite WrestleMania main events. WrestleMania 39 night 1. I'm convinced it was so good because it was. Unfortunately, the things that true wrestling fans actually care about actually really coincided with all the apology tours that they were doing at that time. So like it was really great consolation prize for everybody. We got some really good stuff on that card. But yeah, like we're sitting with this now, and it's not going to it's not going to change because they're going to do
not
this
anytime soon.
Yeah.
over and over again. They're going to put the belt back on Roman. He's going to show up. He's going to show up twice after that. And they're going to ask all these people to step up in his meantime. And they're going to be like, oh, you work so hard. Like whenever WWE puts out a report saying, yeah, such and such is getting like a lot of praise backstage for how hard they've been working. They ain't winning nothing.
So speaking of 1Bs and stuff, Seth, your guy, Phil. So if Bron Breakker's injured and he's just had a hernia surgery, reportedly on Wednesday, just gone. If he doesn't make Mania, what the fuck is Seth doing?
Seth, listen, as a guy that's been a fan for a long time, I'm telling you, as a guy that is concerned, stay home, dog. You do not have to rush back for this WrestleMania if you do not have an opponent. Stay home, man. Like, it's cool. I know you like being on the card. I know you like the pomp and circumstances. You do not have to rush back for this show. And if you rushing back for a Logan Paul match, buddy, I feel for you, dog. Do not let them talk you into this, dog. Don't do it.
Logan before Mania, or am I imagining that?
I think he did, didn't he? Or was it SummerSlam?
Mania, right?
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
he came into WrestleMania 40 hurt. Like he has done this. I have to get back in time. Don't do it.
If I was Seth, I would skip out on WrestleMania if I know they don't have anything for me
Yeah,
and
if
make a
Bron's
really
not
strong
making
play
it, I wouldn't
for
want to make it.
SummerSlam. You know, I'd make a really strong play to do something big at SummerSlam, just because, like, especially like, brother, you're in your 40s. You got kids. You don't got to do this. Like,
No.
what is?
Yeah,
I
he's
don't.
comfy, bro. He's got no.
And I,
It's not like he's out there with a chip on his shoulder and that. Like, it's just.
and I
man.
think specifically for guys like Seth and Drew, when you think about the toll that their bodies took these last couple years of trying to, like, oh yeah, like I want to be here, I want to carry everything, like, and the thing is, you are sitting here with so many injuries piled up on top of each other, back to back to back to back. Roman is good. Like, like he is good. Like, he is so good.
Chilling, bro.
Yeah.
He is so chilling right now.
Yeah. I think it's very telling as well. And I laughed at it during the Punk Roman segment last week. You could see the weight Netflix is throwing around. And you could see it right away when they did all their graphics and they put Cody right on the graphic. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Cody's on the other show. I don't know if he belongs on this graphic. But they're like, nope, don't care. We want him over here. And you can see it now. It's like, hey, we want Roman. We want Punk. We want all the biggest stars over here. SmackDown, y'all got to figure it out. I don't know what y'all going to do, but we want all of the big stars over here. This is the big show. This is the A show.
Correct.
What y'all do over there don't matter.
That don't matter. Sign right here. That don't matter. It's, and I think also too, I can only imagine being a talent, like how that feels of just kind of, you never stood a chance. Like I don't think anybody, this is gonna sound crazy, I don't think anybody from within the WWE system really stands a chance, honestly, of just, you gotta think, a Punk.
Listen, Obafemi's got me, bro. He's got me.
My
He's got me.
my greatest hope
Lyric.
hope
Stop.
Oh,
Stop.
is that
Montel, I'm bowing
WWE
out here. I'm going to let the Obafemi talk proceed. I have to run, folks. This was awesome. I'll be back next week. I'll be there on Friday.
show.
Everyone have
We'll
a
be
good
back
day.
next week. Joe will be
Yes.
back next week, people.
Yeah, and
Like I
Friday.
said.
Speak
Appreciate you,
soon,
brother.
everyone.
All right, Joe.
We'll take it home. Well, not take it home. We'll be about
Well,
another 20, 30
soon.
minutes here.
But what I'm saying about
Appreciate it, brother.
Obafemi is that, like, I genuinely hope that WWE can get out of their own way and just let him be a
He ain't
star.
giving him a choice, man.
I
Listen,
agree
I'm telling you,
that
he's
he's got-
doing it. He's doing it. I'm not hearing any negativity
He's the
until
guy.
after. We're beating Brock at Mania. Not the ideal one, but it's still a win that I'll take. Okay? Fuck
I
it.
will say-
You got to take what you got to take, especially in these circumstances as we've just spent the past hour talking about.
I
You know,
am not optimistic about this Brock match, buddy.
I-
I am not.
this is what I'm saying. I'm not hearing negativity, bro. We're beating Brock and we're moving on.
After what I saw, at least the clips that I saw from WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, I was kind of like, oh, all right. Don't get me wrong. Like, I agree with you that this is what should happen. Like,
Yes.
he is a star, and I will say, in the way that, like, he catches my eye in the way that Bianca did, in the sense of, okay, this performance center made a star from scratch, and they haven't made many.
NIL athlete.
He
You
is
know?
one of them. You know, he is like this monster athlete. He has it. Like, you know, he has all of it. But I will say, like, WWE going WWE, and I just don't see them getting out of their own way enough to let him blossom as the star that he is. You know, and it sucks because if it was up to me, I think that's who Cody should be facing. I think that's exactly who
Oh
Cody
yeah,
should
that's
be
what
facing
I'd be
next
doing.
year.
But
You know, like, I think that him or Braun Breaker should have been in one of those main events.
yeah, of course. Braun Breaker was obviously initially,
Correct.
planned to reportedly, but he somehow got replaced by Drew, and that all. Well, I don't know
Exactly.
how that
Like,
fucking happened,
those-
but it's
In my opinion, like, those are the guys, you know, that you should be building around and pushing. But I just don't see them do it right. Because even if he beat, like, this comment right here, right? I think he'll beat Brock, but it won't be good.
that's where I'm
I
at
just
as well.
don't see Brock being as giving as he should be in this scenario. If it's going to be some convoluted finish and everybody's going to be like, huh? And it's going to be like it's always an asterisk. And I think that's the part that I hate the most. Like, it's always an asterisk. Like, yes, they got the win, but at what cost? And I don't want him to be like one of those people I don't want it to be like a Kofi or a Big E situation. Like, yes, we're going to give you the run, but that's it. Like, like not only building a star, we need to sustain a star. Like,
Oba's the one. Oba's the one. I keep
I
telling
agree.
people, screaming it from the rooftops. The worry that these are normal worries. These are worries that I have for Javon Evans and Trick Williams and Bron Breakers and stuff. Obafemi's the one. We're smashing. We're going. He's getting smashed over on Brock at Mania, and we're winning a world title this year. I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. We are winning a world championship this year after beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That is what we're doing.
When
That is.
where?
I don't know off who. I don't know. I'm not sure. Drew McIntyre. If you somehow get out of Mania.
I just don't think that, again, this goes back to what I'm saying, like the very cannibalistic nature of the current main event picture. I just don't see. Somebody made the comment of, like, I guess Ibu and Christo said it on sessions, but I don't see these guys actually letting Oba beat them. And I think that's also been one of the major issues of, I would say, my biggest problems with WWE is just kind of like, you have a set of top guys that whenever they smell somebody who with potential are getting over, no, they're not doing it. And I think that was part of the reason why Roman did not want to lose to Cody. I think that was of just like, that was the first time I think that he was ever threatened of somebody about on a star power perspective. Because guess what? No, you don't fear Seth Rollins. Of course you don't. Or no, of course you don't at this point.
We're just gonna shoot on everyone. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're just gonna shoot. We're gonna shoot pin Roman Reigns at the first opportunity.
That's the problem. But I think that's part of the problem with Cody as well, because people kept saying when Cody first came back, hey, let's do this Orton match. I'm personally not interested in an Orton match, but I know what that would have done for Cody and what the lore that was there based off like the legacy and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But you got
They've
Orton.
done it? They've never done it still?
No, they still haven't done a match. Yeah. And so you still got Orton coming out and the crowd is singing his theme song. It's like, no, turn this guy heel, give Cody the win over him. But they won't do it.
He don't want to be here as well. I think you can tell.
Yeah.
But it's obviously you do. Yeah, Randy don't want to be here, bro. But yeah, it's obviously
he
inherently
was in the final four in the Rumble, bro. Like, what are we doing?
I know. Inherently, there's There's going to be the issues with WWE when it comes to my brother Oba. I do think he'll, out of the top guys, Brock will be the one that he'll definitely take off. Obviously, when he gets to the Romans, the Seths, the Codys and stuff, that's when it becomes kind of like, it's like a minefield, isn't it? Trying to navigate that tippy top scene, So that's Gunther. Gunther hasn't beat any of those guys, It's like, and obviously you would think he would have by now, and he's having to. Luckily, I guess for him, he's had the opportunities with his retirements pop up where he's been able to retire Goldberg, which obviously is a big thing on his resume. He's been able to retire Cena, which is a huge thing on his resume. Likewise with AJ Styles. But it's like, if those guys weren't retiring, Gunther would just probably be spinning his wheels now, and I'll really worry for Gunther going into WrestleMania. Like, what's Gunther going to be doing? Because as I've said, I've said to you guys before, I've said it to Joe. I do think that like Gunther, like. And it's weird as well, because on commentary, they're like, he's the most hated man in wrestling, and he's this and he's that, and he's like the big evil of professional wrestling. And it's like, he should be at the top of the cards, going for the world title, or better yet, be the world champion that somebody should be trying to topple, Like, he should be the big evil character of WWE at the moment. And it's like, he is, but he isn't. Because obviously, of what we've been spending the past hour plus talking about, of like kind of the politics at the top, because if that weren't there, I'm pretty sure that Gunther probably would have already had his win over, I don't know, Roman or a Punk, or like obviously he's wrestled Punk, he's lost to Punk, and the Seths and the people like that of the world, but here we are. I don't know what Gunther's doing going into WrestleMania. I've been the hottest heel that the industry's seen in a hot minute, to be fair, so
it
it's
sounds
weird.
like it's gonna be Orton. That's what it looks like. Which
I mean that's cool. They've had good matches and stuff, but it's not a step. It's not a step forward for him, is it? And I guess that's
No.
kind of the problem that we've been talking about the whole time. But you know what? Fuck WWE. The Punk and Oba promos were good on Raw last night. There was a couple good matches, but Raw overall last night, I did not think it was good. Becky, please come back to professional wrestling. I don't know what's going on with you at the moment. You've kind of stepped too far, lost in the sauce, but I love you. She's just done another really bad promo segment. But anyway, shout out AJ Lee. She's
People
back.
told
Oh,
me-
bro, I do I call it the Ibu method, where I don't start Raw live. I watch it like an hour or two late, so I can skip through all the ads, and kind of, but it's still kind of somewhat in time with what everyone else is seeing. And I didn't even know AJ Lee was on the show, so when she popped up at the start, I was like, oh shit, And then she was and she's announced for next week as well, so it's like she went at the Rumble, but she's doing this.
The match is announced, right?
Mania
I
run.
think. Yeah, I think she's wrestling Becky at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and then Dave said, I think it was Dave that said that the match for WrestleMania is still planned, even though this Elimination Chamber match is announced. So I don't know
Listen,
what
man.
weirdness
Hey, man.
they could be doing. But
What a political move. Gets back, gets a match at United Center in Chicago. Good for AJ, man. I see the move.
I like
buddy.
AJ.
I'm not wrestling Saudi, but United Center, I'll be there.
Respect,
Good for her.
But yeah, good for AJ Lee. Happy to
I ain't
see her
mad
back.
at you.
Happy to see it back, of course. But yeah, fuck WWE. I want to talk a little bit about AEW.
You've said this.
Tony Khan, recent interview, some interesting comments, spoke about some appreciation for AJ Styles, which we all assume he's at least inquired about at this point in time,
Mm-hmm.
He says he's always evaluating the market, Phil, which I think, judging from his rate of signings over the past 6 years, is pretty apparent, and he's, to be fair, it's not like there's been huge major moves in 2026 so far, but there's been a lot of movement, a lot of kind of like mid-card signings and signings for the future and stuff like that. So Tony Khan is always evaluating the market. Who's even out there at the moment? We've got AJ is the big one that everyone's going to be circling, but free agents, it's like
You know who I'm interested
David Finlay, maybe he's coming up soon. I know he just did an interview with New Japan, so I assume he's still on the contract for the time being. Hiromu's just left. Evil's just left New Japan. Dakota Kai is wrestling Chris Statlander at the start of March. Charlie girl, whatever we're calling her. But obviously Evil and Hiromu, there was talk that they might be going to WWE. Then there was talk that it might just be Evil. Then it's talk that it might be both of them. Then it's like David Finlay. A lot of people, I think, are just making assumptions that he might just be going to WWE. Then I think there was a report that AEW were quietly confident about Finlay.
Yeah.
So of the free agents that I've just mentioned, is there any that you're hoping to see in AEW, Lyric, or is there any that you're good on? Where are you standing on some of those names I just mentioned outside of AJ Styles? Because I think everybody wants to see him in AEW at this point.
I'm gonna be honest. I really want AEW to stop signing people. I'm really good on most of it. However, David Finlay intrigues me. And I read the report that I guess part of signing Clark Connors was
signing
maybe
his boys.
that's what they did to Osprey.
It worked.
Didn't they?
They tried to do it with Kevin Owens too. It didn't quite work.
I think, and David Finlay, I just think he has a much higher ceiling in AEW, and I think he has really become
definitely.
the most complete player. And I hear what people are saying, right? Oh my gosh, David Finlay could go to NXT and be their top guy tomorrow.
Oh,
NXT,
brother.
You think niggas
it's a decent size platform, but it's a bad show, isn't it? It's just
I say this of saying of just there's
We're
no
not
way
there for
you go from
NXT,
being
man.
like the second top foreigner in New Japan and you regularly, get singles matches in the Dome. We're not going to that warehouse, just and I think
Not current NXT, where Joe Hendry's world champ,
I think like it'd just be, especially with the wrestler that he's developed into and who he's become. He is one person who I really respect because he really honed his craft, and he became better and better. He articulated every single part of his game. He became a better wrestler. He became a better talker. He put his presentation all the way together. I think it would be a massive downgrade. And yes, he
became a powerhouse out of nowhere.
He's so strong, and I think he just put it all together. And to the point to where I think wrestlers really gonna have to ask themselves of just look like, brother, did I dream of stand up and deliver, or did I dream of WrestleMania? Those are two completely different things. And I think like a lot of people, like if you are leaving your home, whatever promotion that might be, you need to consider that in the back of your mind. What is my actual dream? Is it just to wrestle under the WWE banner? Is it to go to WrestleMania? Am I totally fine spending, the rest of my career in NXT? Because that's a real conversation that has to be had. And I think that I think AEW has all the parts right now, especially with such a bloated main event scene, to where you could do something really cool with him. I think there's so many guys for him to work, that even with that Bullet Club history, like I think that they should revisit David Finlay, Hangman Page. I think like that is a big one. I think you did that match, during Page's first title reign. And David Finlay was both of them were completely different wrestlers, right? But I think that could be a big program now. And you have all these factions, you're fleshing this out, and because in my opinion, I'm just saying this, you're signing Connors, and even you're probably eventually going to sign. You're going to sign Gabe Kidd. I don't think guys are leaders. I don't think like they're faction leaders. I think that David Finlay was able to do something really cool with his era of Bullet Club. You have all these real hot heads, but he was very distinctly a leader. And I'm not saying that's going to be exactly Bullet Club, but I think that he could be a really cool faction leader, especially when you have all of these different, you got the Don Callis family now, you have the Death Riders. I think he brings something really different to the table. And I just think that like he's just a really strong work rate wrestler, which, he has he has a lot of just versatility that he's shown over these last couple of years. And I think including, even in the tag division, of just the stuff he's done with Hiromu was incredible. Like them as a tag team has been absolutely incredible. Like I am just obsessed. I'm sad that it's over. But yeah, I think David Finlay would be the interesting one. I wouldn't short him. Go to
Finlay's got your interest.
He does. Hiromu, I don't think he would gain anything from going to AEW. I don't think Hiromu should go to America. I'm gonna be honest. Like
it's weird, isn't it? Because he left New Japan now. It's like Naito as well. It's like he left New Japan, so it's like if I was him from where we're sitting, it's like just stay in New Japan, Naito. You're like the biggest star in Japan now that Tanner's left, Okada's left. It's like you're the man. It's like you beat up and this and that, but it's like, what else is out there is really, like, at this point in the game, especially for your Naitos, and Naito, Evil, even Evil, Hiromu. David Finlay is different. David Finlay is definitely a different
I think case. Evil's different too. I think Evil's also different because I think like his motivations for going to America are very specific. I think
if they are what we assume, and if it's his relationship with EO, which I don't know, it's like people are like, he was backstage. He was backstage at some shows not that a while ago, but nobody's fully confirmed it's still a thing, but we assume it's a thing. I don't know.
I would also move countries to be with EO, so I get it.
I hear it. I hear it.
But I think for Naito and Hiromu specifically, I think these are two men who still very much love New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't think that they're, and Naito specifically. Naito is, and he said this much. He's mad at New Japan right now, but he's not he's also still loyal to a fault in the sense of he's trying to prove a point. Naito has a point to prove right now to New Japan. He wants them to change their ways on something. Okada alluded to this of just like, it's not just the money. It's not just like the thing. It's clear distrust and broken relationships with management. Like, or not even like the president, because obviously they both love and respect Tanahashi, but it's something like between Bushiroad and like management of just, and a lot of stars have said this, and specifically Okada and Naito. And so if the like your two top guys, well, out of like the last 15 years have flat out said like, I love this company, I love everything that it's done for me, I probably never would have left any other way, but we've reached a point to where I just can't in good faith stick around for this. Okay, it's a deeper issue. And Naito essentially alluded to it, like, during the Tanahashi retirement. Like, I will come home immediately if y'all fix this. So I don't know if that's changing a booker. I don't know if that's getting from underneath Bushiroad, but it's definitely something big. Like, like this big. Like, Naito loves New Japan. He wants to go back. He will, but only after
He
they
probably will.
Whatever's going on. Like, and Hiromu is deeply loyal to Tetsuya Naito. Like, and that's where relationships really come in. Of just, you see, all these guys are gonna end up in Noah. Sonata, the going to Noah is related. Bushi left with Naito immediately. Said we ain't going nowhere without each other. So like, I think like the things are. Everybody has very separate motivations. And I think David Finley's interesting because I think a lot of people assumed he was just going to go straight to WWE. Because obviously he has ties there. But I think Finley's motivation is just more so wrestling in America. He has a kid. And so that's completely...
Yeah.
I think he just wants to go to America.
Yeah. What about you, Phil? Which ones interest you the most out of those names that we've just... Well, all of them, but we've just kind of thrown around, including Gabe as well.
Yeah, I think AEW is going to continue to sign people. I just think the thing is there is no game changer signing out there. Like all the people you name, like they would be interesting on AEW television, but like the only person that is possibly a game changer that's going to do all of these like big fantastical matches is AJ Styles. And so, yeah, I would love to see what Finley can do on American TV on AEW. But that's kind of it. And it kind of feels like Gabe is bound to sign as well. But, and I want Dakota to get a spot. I feel like Dakota didn't get the run she should have gotten on the main roster with WWE. And so I want her to get moments on U.S. television. But again, I just don't feel like there's anybody out there that's just like screaming, you have to sign this person. Like, I feel like that was different 3 or 4 years ago. There were several people out there like that were can't miss talents. It's not so much that
step signings now, isn't it? Signings.
Most people are where they want to be, I think, right now, or at least
pretty much.
They just locked in.
Yeah, there'll always be a little bit of movement. I think we'll always get like what we're getting right now, this like start of year movement, and obviously the New Japan contracts, the way they cycle them. So I think we'll always kind of get this start of year kind of hustle and bustling, where like maybe one big talent will run out. Like AJ has, he's retired from WWE at least. Obviously that's in line with what we've heard from the reports of his contract being up this month, I believe it was. So yeah, but elsewhere in AEW, they've just, it wasn't announced, but Andrew Zarian just reported that they are running Double or Nothing this year at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York, which is another tennis stadium like Arthur Ashe, which I think works very well for professional wrestling because of just kind of like the shape of these stadiums/arenas, the way that they're built high sometimes as well. If I'm looking at Google and stuff, it looks like another one of those venues that will be very well suited for this. Queens, New York, 14,000 people, I think the capacity is. So, seems like a very nice venue to do it, man. I'm sure either of you guys have circled it to potentially go down. Like I said, I know it's not announced yet, but surely you're as two people that have been to AEW pay-per-views and stuff in the US, it's got to be an interesting one for you guys in Queens.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Here's the thing. Last time I went to AEW pay-per-view in New York, it was weird. Now, a lot of people have hassled me, and they're like, Lyric, Long Island is not New York City. Well, how am I supposed to know? I'm from South Carolina, okay?
It's New York State, isn't it? I think.
I mean, it's like it's literally right there. Like, you know, it's in Queens technically. You know, at least what the venue was. I think it's great though, and I think, like, you know, it's the perfect capacity. They can really sell this building out, and I think that last year they did a huge service to themselves by restoring the reputation of Double or Nothing, and I think that, especially if you know, if it's structured the same way that it was last year, in the sense like, okay, you know, the Owen finals are going to be there, I think that that's more than enough to get people to tune in.
Yeah.
And also, you know, like, okay, who, if the Owen leads to All In, who do I think is going to All In? If Will Ospreay's if Will Ospreay is healthy, then you know, like, he's going to be in that Owen final. Will Ospreay in an Owen final, he's going to win. I think it's more than enough reason to buy a ticket. It's just more so kind of me. I'm kind of like, okay, I want to get to at least 2 shows this year, 2 pay-per-views this year. I know All In, I want to be one of them, and that's an international trip. So that's going to be a little expensive. So I'm kind of like, okay, what's
Why?
What?
Why All In this year?
If it's Omega Ospreay, how can I not be there?
I mean, okay, that's your reason, but it's not like that's announced, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and also too, I'm gonna be honest, I love Wembley. Like, I went to the first one. I'm really sad I didn't get to go to the second Wembley show. And also I haven't seen a lot of my friends in the UK in a really long time. So I would love to, like, go around and, you know, hang out with the girls and do the whole
England's overrated, but
But I also want to go to Dynasty in Vancouver. So I don't know.
That sounds cool. You know.
You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing in Vancouver there except for Kenny Omega for me. But like I said, if Kenny wins that belt in Dynasty, then it's kind of like.
Yeah.
But then
Gotta wait for a few announcements.
I've done all of the core 4, the original OG 4 pay-per-views except for Double or Nothing. So it's kind of like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I've
yeah.
done
Hey, you've never been to Double or Nothing in Vegas?
no.
Really?
My first time in Vegas last year was for Mania Week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Um,
I don't know. I kind of want to be able to say that I've gone to every single pay-per-view type. I've never done a Dynasty, never done World's End, but those are new. But I haven't done Double or Nothing, but I've done everything else.
Oh man, I'd be seriously considering, if I was in the US, I'd be seriously considering that Double or Nothing this year, because I think the venue looks really cool for it. You know.
yeah.
Then you know, I'm sure I've seen the South May guys say like they're planning to go as well. Like, it could be like I think it could be one of those. You know how you talk about the All In last year, like how it was like kind of like a link up for a lot of the media people, especially in kind of like our circle sort of thing of this side of Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You know. I think I could see that. I could see Double or Nothing kind of like rolling into something like that. You know.
I think Double or Nothing is definitely going to be the biggest US show maybe this year, unless Forbidden Door is just crazy. And I think that's also what I'm kind of holding out for. Like, I want to know where Forbidden Door is, because if Forbidden Door is in the US, that's always a game changer. Forbidden Door always feels huge, you know, especially like when they ran it in Toronto. I didn't go to the one in Chicago, but Forbidden Door in Toronto, it genuinely felt like one of the biggest weekends of the year. And so it just depends on Forbidden Door. But I think if Forbidden Door is not in the US, I think Double or Nothing is going to be the show for sure.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Phil? You think do you see yourself going there?
I don't know if I'm going yet, but I think it makes a lot of sense for AEW. If you're not going to run Vegas, you want to do a big market. I think Arizona worked really well for them last year. But I think Double or Nothing has been situated as like their big US show. So I think you want to do a big market like New York. So I think, it makes a ton of sense to do Queens. You're going to be able to do a lot of the media and stuff around Double or Nothing to help promote it. That's going to make a big difference. But yeah, and if you're booking at around like Ospreay in New York, getting his big win in New York, big market, that should be the way to go. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be at this point. I don't know if Ospreay is going to be back by then. I don't know if Mercedes is going to be back by then. But It's
They'll
New
all
York,
be
man.
back.
You got to
Mercedes.
pull out all the cards in New York.
They'll all be
Mercedes
back.
out here on Instagram getting fucking put in positions I didn't know existed,
Yo.
bro. Like, it's like she'll be back. She's gonna be
that
back.
video
bro.
was
she's
wild.
good.
He's already like been announced for so many indie shows. I think everybody's gonna be back. I think
Oh yeah, she was teased for was it like Rev Pro or something when
Yeah.
they put the dollar sign on the
she's
on
teased
the
for Rev
poster.
Pro. She got announced for another Winnipeg Pro Wrestling match. She got announced for
Mm.
a match. I forgot the other place, but yeah, Mercedes will be back, and I
Yeah,
think
back
Osprey's gonna be
active.
back too. Those we not putting teasers out if he not gonna be back on time. He's
Yeah.
gotta be back.
Yeah, that's cruelty.
We're
Like he's
not,
gotta be back soon, man.
And
He's gotta
it's
be
just
back
also
soon.
too, even if he's not ready, and I'm not saying this is like a plotting game. Will Ospreay is a real freak when it comes to this wrestling shit. Y'all gonna have to literally carry him out by his teeth to keep him out of Wembley Stadium, and that's just the truth. Like, no, he's
Yeah, he's
not.
gonna be forging doctors' documents and everything, bro. If he has to.
Especially, like, he was he's been very giving, I would say, since he got to AEW, you know, and I don't think like he considers it a hardship. I think like he genuinely, especially like some of the other top guys, he genuinely respects them, the people that he works with, and like cares. But nah, it's everybody get out the way. Like, it's his time. It's his time. Especially if Kenny wins that belt, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. Like,
So
I don't,
yeah, we're waiting on Kenny and Osprey and Forbidden Door plan so Lyric can plan her year, you know. But all right, let's wind down. Let's wind down. We've been here about 90 minutes, and we'll do a few super chats, and yeah, man, we'll wrap it up, get out of here, and we'll let you guys get on with your afternoons, evenings if you're in the UK. Andrew Brown, $5. Appreciate you as always. With the seeming stagnation of WWE creative and the WrestleMania ticket sale situation, if it continues, will Triple H be removed? I think it would have to get quite a bit more extreme for those conversations to become like real things, you know. Because like, who's going to step in? First of all, I don't think Heyman would want the role. I think Heyman's very happily kind of being like a puppet master behind the scenes that doesn't get blamed for anything, you know. But he can also have his say when he wants to in the big moments, you know. So I think Heyman's very happy where he is. Then there's like they're not going to bring Sean up from NXT. I don't think Brian Gewirtz. I know that was kind of a conversation people were having when Dwayne was like doing his Mania run and stuff. But I don't see that being. I just don't. I just think they're all in on Triple H, to be honest. Even if he isn't doing a good job creatively, what I think they would do is keep Triple H as the CEO or whatever it is, and then just have other bookers underneath him trying to fix his messes or whatever. But I think Triple H, much like Dana White and Hunter in the UFC, where Hunter's the actual matchmaker and the booker has been for years, but Dana's kind of like the face of it all, isn't it? So I think that would be kind of like the system they'd go to if they did lose faith in Triple H's booking rather than just like cutting him out completely.
He's too much of the identity of the company at this point. Like as like the figurehead, I don't see that changing.
They've invested so much into that narrative as well, like all the video packages that he's all over and everything. Like that's definitely like it's him and his ego, of course, even though he claims that he doesn't like going out in front of people and doing all that, all that bullshit. Obviously, it's a bit of him, but I definitely do think it is kind of like TKO trying to Danify him, you know.
I think also too, I do think like I think he did that intentionally from the beginning, inserting himself as the face, because like especially without the McMahon ties, you know, anymore of like TKO being in charge. He put himself in front of the camera so much to where even if he is completely creatively bankrupt and a shit booker, right? He has given the illusion that he is vital to operation. Yeah, you know, even
he's a creative genius.
Even down to the WrestleMania poster of him even being on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man.
So opening every show to like, you know, give the illusion to where, oh my God, like we need him. And even if TKO internally knows that we absolutely don't, they know that if you remove him, it's going to cause such a scandal because he made himself so visible. So if he magically becomes invisible, people are going to start talking, oh, what happened here? This is it related to Vince? Is it related to that? Is it related to this? And so he's just currently, I don't think TKO sees him as even worth the trouble at all.
Yeah. It's the Sam Rothstein show. It's what Sam did when he couldn't get his license. He went and got the show, so they couldn't do nothing to him.
Correct.
GMP 499. Who is most likely to win a world title first from each of these groups? Dominic Mysterio, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and Ilya Dragunov for the men, and Roxanne, Raquel, Lyra, and Jordan for the women. I'm gonna go with who's most likely. I'd say I can see Dom Shithouse in the title win. Outside of that, I'd probably go Trick. And then for the women, Roxanne, Raquel, Lyra, Jordan. I'll go with. I'm struggling between Lyra and Roxanne. I'm gonna say Lyra, I think. So I'm going Lyra and Dom.
It pains me to say this because I think it's criminal. The idea of Dragunov not winning a world title before these other guys, but I don't think it'll be Dragunov. I think out of the guys that they clearly have the most interest in pushing, it's going to be Dom, and I don't like that. But I
Trick's
think
had such a good start, though, hasn't he? But I don't want to talk too soon with Trick. But his start has been big, you know. So
the Trick thing, I just want them to get past them giving us the half measures. Yes, they keep telling us he looks like a star, but do they book him like a star? Do they give him wins like a star? And so, yeah, I think Trick can get there, but I don't know if I have faith in them booking him that way yet. Dom, they're very much invested in. They're in the business of working with Dom. On the women's side, I think they're very specifically held off on giving Jordan the win on NXT because it's going to happen on the main roster. I think she's going to win before any of them.
Lyric, you would be answering this kind of blindly, but go for it. Fuck it.
I definitely think Dom, even though I think it should be Ilya. But it's fair. And I think I agree about the Trick stuff. Again, like I was saying, if a report comes out when they saying such and such is being backstage praised by WWE for like how they came in, they're not winning nothing no time soon.
Yeah, it's like someone quote tweeted like a report of like Lyra Valkyria. There's big plans for her from like last summer, and someone quoted it like as soon as this came out, I knew it was over, bro.
I actually have a theory that she's one person who, if she ever like seriously enters free agency, I think AEW will make a serious.
Oh yeah, she's a great wrestler.
Because like I think like she strikes me as somebody who I'm not sure WWE is ever going to appreciate her totally for like what she brings to the table, and I do think like she might do better in a more wrestle first environment. Maybe.
Maybe.
But I think Roxanne. I would go with Roxanne. For the women.
John Manor 10-1. Rome has the formula. He knows how to cook it up. Hey man, he's doing something right for his own personal needs, you know. So, I like Rome, man. Obviously, we spent over an hour talking about kind of the WWE problems with how they do things systematically and the politics at the top, and nobody wants to do this when they should do that. But like, still, as a professional wrestling fan, I still like Rome, man.
I think he's the
big
last
Rome, innit, you know.
Like, you know? I think he's like the last of a generation of like unbreakable stars, like, you know, of like they walk in a room, tickets move, you know. And I think Okada's like that. I think we heard a lot of that discourse around Wrestle Kingdom. Of just like, why Okada? Why couldn't it be somebody else? Okay, you move 8,000-9,000 tickets, then you know you move 1,000 tickets in 24 hours short. Like it's certain people, and yes, it might come off of as them being an asshole. Maybe they are. Who knows? But unfortunately, he does live the life he claims. Yes, he does walk in the room, tickets start moving. People start screaming, It is what it is. And until somebody else is able to take him off of his perch, I see why he feels the way that he does. Now, because that's not his problem. It's on a company to build more stars, And I think and let's not get confused about who Roman Reigns is. If you look at his career in totality, he has more bad years than good ones still.
Yes.
The good has still not outweighed the bad. Now, these last couple years,
it's getting close now. It's getting close now. Roman's been tribal chief now for fucking years, bro. It's been so long.
2022.
That's still. When did he debut? He debuted what?
2014.
He debuted 2014. So yeah, we are
2013. Sorry, 2013.
We are. So yeah, he signed in 2010. So we are. He became tribal chief. Was that 2019, 2020?
2020, I think.
2021. So
or 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
when he linked up with Paul at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns.
We have about.
I think that was 2020.
Okay, so we're at a 6-10 ratio still. Of just he got to do.
You got to know, but the Shield, obviously the Shield at the start, like those ones.
That was like 2013. Like when he signed, he was still.
He wasn't the best member of the Shield.
August 2020 was when Heyman and Roman aligned.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had about 6 years as the tribal chief.
That's what I'm saying. It's a long, long time, man.
But he had a 10-year. He had a 10-year career before that. That's what I'm trying to say in the sense of
it's getting close. We're getting close now because like Shield, the Shield stuff was good, and then the head, not the head of the table. What was it called? Big Dog Roman was like the shit years. What we're referencing in it.
Yeah.
So like, we've probably got how many years was he Big Dog Roman, like post Shield Big Dog? Like how many years we talking? Because this is a period of WWE that's a bit hazy for me. Because I was super I was a UFC guy back in the day. You get me? So
the worst person to ask. I was watching NXT Faithful. That's
running Chaos and running the couch. It doesn't really matter, does it? But
it had to be like 6 or 7 years at that point after the Shield was officially done. That's why. Look, I can appreciate Roman to a degree because he had to get through some terrible creative to get to where he is now, and he persevered. He did. But I just want them to do something else with him. It's not not book him as a top guy. Just do something different with him. That's all.
And I think also too, I think to stay interesting, like not to get interesting, but to stay interesting, there has to be a level of vulnerability there to where like you just can't just bulldoze through everybody. And the thing is, you let him bulldoze through everybody for over 1,000 days. Yes. Do something else.
It's like they try to do the vulnerability thing in the sport now because it's like when he dropped the belt and then like he was feuding with Solo. Like I'll always remember he cut a promo on Solo talking about how he promised his father and God, who's the other Wild Samoan that passed away? Close to that, both for Alpha and Zeke, he was like, I promised them that I'd fix this for our family, and and he was like vulnerable in that sense to Solo, and I thought it was one of the best promos he cut in like that period of like post losing the title, and obviously they haven't really done much with it. Then like even as recently as when he was last around, it's like they were teasing all like he's like falling out with the Usos and like, and that sort of vulnerability there, and like was gonna play, and that's just been completely abandoned because I've won the Rumble and going to Mania, like it's
Roman's ever gonna get vulnerable with his own family.
Exactly. So Kuzu $5 says, "What's the realistic outcome of this Roman and Cody Cold War?" I honestly think it's just basically like a cycle of what it has been recently, where it's like. Cody won't always have as bad of years as 2025, where he was like creatively stifled through a lot of it, But like Cody will be around and he'll do his thing and he'll be the top guy. And then when Roman wants to, and it comes to Mania season, like he'll poke his head in. When it's SummerSlam, he'll poke his head in and he'll be presented as the man because he's the coolest and he's God mode and he's this and he's that. And I think it'll just be a cycle until Roman retires in a couple of years and Cody is past his prime, and there'll be a different fucking top guy that's struggling to break through, and whether that's Bron Breakker, whether that's Obafemi, whether that's fucking, I don't know, but I think it is just basically repeating this cycle what we've been in the past year or so, to be honest.
It'll be it'll be the exact same until somebody leaves or retires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple members' questions. Appreciate you guys for being sub for so long. You can join our memberships as well, where you'll get a couple shows. Two to three shows a week on there. KM Raid, I appreciate you. Knows better hope that Dwayne Johnson and Brian Gewirtz don't get any bright ideas during this lull in quality where TKO may consider giving in to them. Lol. So I don't think they will, man. I don't think they will.
I don't think The Rock has any interest in being there long term either.
Yeah.
Like I think that the big question mark around him is going to come by next April, and is he going to come in to get the big match in Saudi Arabia? But like as of right now, I don't think he has any interest in being there in the day to day like Triple H is.
I agree.
No, he only really gets in the weeds when he feels like he has to. I will say, man, when I watched the Smashing Machine didn't do too good, man. So there's a chance. I haven't seen the movie yet. Like
I haven't seen it either.
I've seen so many mixed reviews, so like I don't know what to believe. But I know how he feel when he feel like his back is against the wall at that box office. The thing is, you really don't know him. He could show up 2 months before Mania and just put shoulder his way in.
He just does stuff, doesn't he? It's Dwayne.
So you can't really plan for The Rock. You just got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Andrew Brown, appreciate you as always. The only thing that could move tickets is The Rock. WWE should do a Rainmaker shock. For those that don't know, it just means, when you want to smash over a young guy, you have them just beat your top guy and stun everybody, basically, because that's what Okada did.
That would be beautiful if people actually, like, I would love, like, a reverse where, like, you have, like, Obafemi squash. Well, not Brock, but I mean somebody like Brock, in like 3 minutes, maybe 2. Like
that's how I do the Mania match. To be honest, like not a full on squash like he's done on the TV the past week, but like it would be like, how Brock put over Drew at Mania. It'd be like similar to that.
I want him to do it just
you get
like
smashed over properly,
just like Brock did Kofi, like.
But that's a full on squash. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think at this point, one, he shouldn't be here. Period. But like, what are we protecting Brock Lesnar from?
That's what I'm saying. He's done it. He's been the guy. I mean, and when you brought him in, the biggest guys possible put him over. I mean, other than Austin, because Austin took his ball and went home, but The Rock put him over.
Absolutely. Like, they know how to, and that's what I'm saying. It goes just back to like, the cannibalistic of the main event scene of just like, y'all know how to build a star. You've done it before. We've seen you do it. You scared of these dudes. You're scared of your locker room. You're scared of the top of your locker room, period. You so scared to ask them like, hey, please, Roman, can you put them up? No. Because you could barely get him to show up to work in the first place.
I mean, but see, his argument now is what I said earlier. Well, listen, y'all asked me to come in and lose to Bronson. I did. What did that do for him?
What happened? Sir, I don't know what happened there. So what happened when after Bronson beat him?
Bronson beat him and then proceeded to get nothing. It's not like he's got like a push. Nothing has happened since then. Like
it's not even like they did like a little. I don't know what bullshit programs did they do for people. Like
I mean,
like I don't know. He could have done like a little program with Priest. And just beat him as well. Like just keep. He's literally done nothing, Lyric. Like he's done nothing.
I mean, his argument could also be: look, I came in 2 years in a row at WrestleMania. I lost to Cody at 40. I lost to Rollins at WrestleMania 41. All right, it's been 2 years. I've been losing.
I think it also too of just like I get his perspective because like if I laid down and you as the creative team didn't do your due diligence to make sure that there was a follow-up for it, that's not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. For the seat. He's taking his seat back on him.
Yeah, I feel the same way about like kind of like the AEW women's division right now. Just kind of like, yes, you did let Chris Statlander beat Tony Storm and Mercedes, but did you give her anything outside of that? No. Like literally, she's been confined to backstage. nothing after the Death Riders thing ended. There's really been, nothing. And so like I said, that's the problem with these super long title reigns, right? Like just you have it. And so when you finally do push new stars, it's more so like, here, damn. And you're giving them nothing, and you're like, oh wow, they're not getting over. Fine, can we get our top star back? Can you come get your belt back, please?
Oh, the joys of WrestleMania season at WWE. The conversations that it brings up. But I guess on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys who have sent the super chats and kept it active in the live chat. Try to keep it as engaging as possible. I don't think we're going to try to do these weekly, Tuesday afternoons around this time, 2 p.m. probably. And it won't always be as WWE heavy, I don't think. There'll be a bit of spread, I guess. But I guess we, like I said at the start of the show, we just start talking, and we got into that conversation. You got into it with us in the chat. So it led all over the place. It was meant to be about Triple H criticism. I think we ended up spending more time talking about Roman Reigns. But yeah, man. Lyric, you got anything this week that you want to plug?
You can follow me at Lyric Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram. You can watch my Dynamite After Show with Danny from Black Girl Wrestling on every Wednesday after Dynamite, the Dynamite Diaries. I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else? I'm doing something for Black History Month. I need to hammer out the details before I share it. So but it's going to be fun. That's all I can really promise right now. But yeah, that's it.
Phil, what you up to this week, bro?
You can still catch me co-hosting Grapsody every Saturday at noon Eastern on Fightful's YouTube channel. That's really about it. Because I'm trying to think, when is the next pay-per-view? It's at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, Grand Slam Australia next week, but that's not a pay-per-view. So
yeah, that's probably the closest we've got, isn't it?
Yeah,
few big matches on there.
Yeah,
so.
At the Elimination Chamber is what, the 48th?
Oh, New Beginning Osaka. I mean, for New Japan
that's
fans,
tonight, right?
Yeah, later tonight. So I'll be tuned. I'll watch that live, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Leave us a comment. It always helps, especially those of you who are watching on catch up, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll get back to some more regular streams on the main channel, because that's what we're hoping to do this Tuesday one. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.